Good evening, friends. Welcome to the virtual brokers and analyst IPO meet of Network People Services Technologies Limited, better known as NPST. The company is coming up with its IPO on NSE Emerge platform. To give you more insights about the company and the issue, I would like to welcome Mr. Ashok Hulani, Director of Hulani Consultant Private Limited, Mr. Sanjay Fadke, Company Secretary with Bank of India Merchant Bankers Limited. Ashok ji, over to you.
Good evening, friends. Myself, Ashok Holani, Director Holani Consultants Private Limited, and we are relevant to this particular issue. Alongside with me, Mr. Sanjay Fadke is there, representative Bank of India, merchant bankers who are also the BRL to the issue. We also welcome the company representative, Mr. Deepak Thakur, Chairman and Managing Director of the company, Mr. Ashish Agarwal, Joint Managing Director of the company, Mr. Rajiv Berry, Chief Technology Officer of the company. So these are the main KMP of the company. Friends, we are coming up with an IPO of SME of Network People Services Technologies on the SME platform of NSE Emerge. The IPO will open for subscription on 28th July 2021 and will close on 2nd August 2021. The entire issue has been planned on the book building method, and the price band of the issue has been taken as 76 to 80 rupees per share. Lot size shall be 1600 shares and application shall be bidded in the multiple of 1600 equity shares. The total issue size is 17,12,000 equity shares, which has been bifurcated into the four categories. First is the QIP category, under which 3,74,400 shares has been reserved. In the HNI category, we have reserved 6,81,600 shares, and the retail category is 5,67,600 shares. And the balance market maker component is 86,400. Market maker to the issue are Beverage Share Brokers Private Limited. Friends, NPST company was incorporated in 2013, and since then, the company has been making a rapid progress both in terms of turnovers and the profitability figures. The company is operating into three verticals. One is the TSP vertical, in which they provided technology upgradation software to the banks for mobile banking and digital transactions. In this vertical, they have a premium banks with them as in their portfolio like Canara Bank, Syndicate Bank, Cosmos Property Bank, and 2-3 other cooperative banks also. In the TPAP vertical, the company which has started in this year financial year only, in which the company will be starting the digital payment transactions. Under this umbrella, they are also launching some smart solutions like smart society, smart merchants to take on the to start with the digital society solutions. And the third vertical is the Sarva Seva Kendra, in which they have already launched this particular platform, which is known as Sarva Seva Kendra, in which they provide services or platform for merchants to provide services to the citizens through the web-based or mobile solutions. So I have now the presentation of the company to let you know more about the company. Can I have the presentation, please?
People Services Technologies Limited. The increased demand for digital banking services has caused a wide adoption of many revolutionary technologies. The world is digitalizing and is changing how people interact and do business on a day-to-day basis. And advancements in banking technology are continuing to influence the future of financial services around the world. From retail and mobile banking to neobank startups, technology has its hand in seemingly every aspect of the banking industry. NPST is in the business of providing digital platform to merchants, banks, and financial sector with key focus on payments and smart transactions. NPST business is divided into three verticals. Technology service provider. We play the role of technology expert for banking clients in digital payment space. We provide highly scalable, certified and future-ready payment platform to operate seamlessly. Our payment platform includes mobile banking, IMPS payment switch, Bheem UPI payment switch and e-wallets.
The future is, of course, taking it to cloud, creating an open banking platform. and creating a huge and a larger access to these products for my banks as well as the merchant ecosystem.
Merchant PSP. Under this business vertical, we have successfully developed Timepay app, one of the MPCI approved payment platform to operate UPI payments. Our objective is to empower micro, small, and medium enterprise with digital technology and bring them to a competitive strength in the industry. The platform will not only provide digital payments but also solve business problems such as e-invoicing, collections, e-receipts, auto accounting, inventory, online orders and bookings, banking services, and so on. IT services.
We work on the turnkey model as well as we work on the manpower as a service model. We have a full stack development. We have right from the architecture till the system guys, and this is where we have built solutions for an African company, for one of the largest e-commerce company in the country, and this is the model wherein the organization is indeed creating a larger margin.
We have dedicated team who are working on specific client side projects wherein we are focused on what our client demands, and based upon that we are working on those frequent changes which our customers are asking for.
Serve Seva Kendra. Serve Seva Kendra is a digital merchant platform for B2B segment. With the help of Serve Seva Kendra, services are delivered by merchants to the citizen through web or mobile-based solution. Timepay app has been our flagship product of MP. Timepay app is a digital ecosystem which offers complete solution for homeowner. It provides value addition to merchants over its payment platform through auto collection of amount, invoicing generation, recurring payment, receipt, reconciliation, etc. Timepay helps simplify and organize society operations like society administration, maintenance management, vendor relations, tenant management, security solution, and accounting and reporting. In order to help and improvise merchants' presence in market and empower them with an opportunity to scale their business, Timepay has brought automation for merchants in sales and operations by providing a single platform for online orders, inventory management, invoicing, payments and reconciliation, and customer management.
As NPST, we are having a development hub in Noida, are having a presence in 12 cities across the country. Now, if we are talking about the future market prospect, so I think there is a huge potential in taking this feature. So that's the aim. We can go big in the coming years. As I already told you that we are a bootstrap company, we don't have any kind of loans. We have till now we have managed the entire show with our own investment, and you can say our operational profits. So that's the objective. We can achieve something big, and I think this is very doable for us.
Last 7 years we have been a bootstrap company, and we have reached our customers and for our employees. Now obviously we want to get take a larger step.
NPST, Network People Services Technologies Limited.
Uh, Hi everyone, this is Deepak, and I'm joined by Ashish Agarwal and Rajiv from my team. Uh, before we get into Q&A, I thought we'll very quickly give you a brief background about what exactly we are doing and what's the future plan, and why this IPO. So when we started in 2013, we actually wanted to build a digital platform which would be focusing on the rural and the micro ecosystems, and that's where we built a wallet-based platform, Sarva Seva Kendra. We set up about 2,000 odd centers in Maharashtra, and then we did about almost a crore of Aadhaar enrollments in the country. That actually paved the way for further growth for the organization. 2015, 14, 15, we embarked on the journey for digital payments and banking, and today we have completely transformed into an organization which is into technology service domain for banks. So if you look at our product portfolio right now, mobile banking, when we say mobile banking, it's not purely a mobile banking, but a completely integrated platform. When we say this integrated mobile banking, we are not talking about the interface. We are talking about the entire processing engine on which the overall user data, the security layers, the overall processing engine rights. Similarly, we have built IMPS payment switch, Beam UPI payment switch, wallet, and the most recent merchant platform, which again rides majorly on the UPI ecosystem. These are the solutions which we have built under our technology service provider domain. That's what we are called in the industry. And we cater to large banks such as Canara Syndicate, entity, Kerala Grameen and Karnataka Grameen, the two of the largest RRB in the country, and Cosmos Bank, one of the largest cooperative bank in the country. So here, what exactly we wanted to do was further scale it to a larger ecosystem and start looking at the opportunities through this product that we have created, where we own the IP. And that is when 3 years back we decided to look at the opportunities around merchant PSP. We reached out to Cosmos Bank. We synced up with the overall vision around the digitization of the merchant ecosystem, and that's where we came together. They sponsored us, and today we have an approval to launch our own TPAP solution from NPCI. The solution not only provides a payment platform, but we decided to work on several other business requirements of the merchants, and that is where it's not just a plain vanilla payment solution, but also a lot of business services and the overall banking services riding on it, which a merchant would require, and that is what matches with our vision to provide a complete financial value chain to a merchant ecosystem. The third vertical, IT services, now that's key to us to drive a bootstrap organization. Obviously, margin is very important, and that is where we took an advantage of the complete full stack development team that we have, right from architecture to the systems, and now monitoring and the overall development and testing team. So we took an advantage of whatever resources we have, and then we started taking few projects around building a turnkey, as well as providing resources under manpower as a service. These projects allowed us to reinvest into the merchant PSP domain that we have. So if you look at the overall solution that we have around technology solutions for banks, it's not just a payment platform, but furthermore, what innovation we can bring around this payment platform. So it's not just a UPI switch; it is way beyond that. When we do that, can we take this switch further and bring in a customized gateway for a large setup? Can we take the same switch and bring it for the micro merchant ecosystem? So the organization's core, which has been around innovation, we have continued to drive it all these 8 years of our existence. Now, this is where the company's growth plans are. I mean, while the banking software will continue to push further innovations and continue to provide margins to our business. Digital ecosystem is where we are currently focused right now, and this is which will take the organization to the next level. So far, we have been sitting behind bank and we have been providing solution around the digital payments. Now the same ecosystem, the same experience, we take it to the market and we provide the entire solution to merchants right now. So what you're seeing here is the payment solution, which is pay, collect, QR solution, which is common across any PSP application that you use right now. But our business model purely brings in banking and business services, which is required across the financial value chain. When I say financial value chain, what we mean is beyond payments. Every single requirement of a merchant, it may be invoicing, it may be real-time reconciliation, it may be the book of accounts, it may be compliances, it may be managing customers. All of that should be part of a single platform. So today you have one solution for your payment, the another solution takes care of your invoicing and receipts, then third solution takes care of your book of accounts, the fourth solution is where you reach out to bank and look out for reconciliations. All of that is stitched together into a single platform, and that is what empowers the merchant empowers merchant to further look into the growth of the business. And this is what we are bringing in our Timepay, all the platforms stitched together, and it's real time. Now, when we do this, in order to fulfill the requirement of certain merchant categories, we have started adding pieces around the domain expertise. Now, there may be a cooperative housing society which may need a gated security. So, rest all requirement remains same. When we provide services around, cooperative housing society, we realize that there are similar requirements coming from all the other businesses wherever subscription is key. It may be gym, it may be hostel, it may be coaching classes, it may be EMI schemes in jewelry store, it may be a digital pass in the transit system. All of that. So when we may begin with one merchant category, we may target one merchant category, but the demand across various segments keep on adding more and more opportunities for the company. So when we look at the other segments, we keep on creating a customized solution riding on the major banking, business, and payment solutions that we have. So beyond cooperative housing society, there may be gym, there may be jewelry store where we have added certain more expertise to fulfill their requirements. uh, it's not a secret. I mean, everyone knows the way digital payment has been empowering the overall business in the country. Since demonetization, the journey has been completely different, and there are a lot of new startups. There are a lot of new ideas in the industry, which has driven the overall scope. So, what we look at is there are there are users right now who are on smartphones and they need they need services on their mobile phone. Now, this demand is not just empowering digital payment segment, but every single category. It may be pharma, it may be pathology, it may be a simple doctor's appointment, it may be a grocery store, it may be a large grocery store, it may be a small kirana wala, it may be any kind of business. Everyone would like to be on a mobile phone, and every user wants it on a mobile phone. This further pushes demand for digital payments. I mean, every single ecosystem, every single business which is on mobile phone will ultimately be selling something, and when they do that, there will be a financial transaction, and that brings more and more opportunity for companies like us. Just to give you an idea about the area that we operate, merchant PSP for UPI. That's what we have been pushing further from here on. So when we talk about that, and we look at the statistics in the market. October 2019 is the first time that UPI touched about 1 billion transactions, a billion transactions in a month. Next year, on October 2020, it was 2 billion transactions. Now, the growth story is not just a simple QR based transactions or a simple contact to contact transaction. The growth story is based on tremendous use cases which are getting added every day in and out in UPI. If you look at the overall nature of the product, earlier there were net banking, now UPI has account to account transfer. There were debit cards riding on hardwares, now you have QR based simple paper print which is driving your debit card, the payment transactions. Similarly, there will definitely be a QR based prepaid transactions. When we talk about recurring payments through NACH, we have recurring mandate in UPI. When we talk about standing instructions, we have one time mandate. Now, if that's the nature of the product, for sure, all the kind of requirements that different type of merchants may have is entirely fulfilled by this product. And when we do so, it gives us huge opportunity to innovate and enter that particular segment. Now, this is why the industry statistics say that another 3 to 4 years, there will, it will be 100 crore transactions a day. It will touch about 30 billion transactions in a month. That's the product that where we are also, a small part of it. If you look at the segment where the organization is currently focused on, I will just take one segment from here, which is cooperative housing society. There there may be statistics around 6 to 7 lakh cooperative housing societies, credit societies, the community present in this country. And if we take all the acquisitions happened till date right now, we can still see that nothing less than 90% of the segment is yet to be acquired. Wherever we are going, in several cities, we are getting a first mover advantage. And when there is 90% open space, it is a blue ocean strategy for another blue ocean market for another 3 to 4 years. And that is what we are seeing with the other segments as well. As in when we get into more and more merchant categories in MSME segment, we are seeing that the collection is one of the biggest problem, collection and the reconciliation. And that is where our software is placed, solving collection problem, giving real-time reconciliation. And that's what will be driving Timepay. So just to give you an idea about the overall business model of the company, what we have adopted, there may be 16 to 17 TPAP right now in the market in UPI. Every single TPAP has its own business model. Not everyone are driving the business the same way the others are doing. What we are doing is UPI for us is a mean to ride this vehicle. UPI is not a product where we will be looking for the retail user base. We need this product to empower our ERP, to empower our solution with the payment platform. And with this solution, we should be able to further provide a complete product to the merchants. We are into B2B category. We are not into B2C. Since 8 years, we have been in B2B segment. We have been empowering banks with our digital products, and that is what exactly we want to do with the merchants as well. We will be providing the solution to merchants. Merchants will then reach out to their user base. Societies will reach out to their members, and by the use of this product, they can solve their collection issues, recon issues, and the overall the management requirement of that merchant or the society. So TimePay is more of a B2B, 2C nature across all the category of merchants that we are targeting. Now that's an idea about how the product will generate a revenue. So when we look at the accounts, when we reach out to banks, we reach out to merchants. obviously the solution is utilized as a product which can generate more revenue and solve the problem. Under that category, we have opportunity, and the business model is around subscription, which is a regular income, a recurring income for us. And then every time we provide a digital transaction facility around the services, we have an opportunity to make money around transactions. So there is a second model of revenue, which is transaction revenue. And the third one is as and when the product advances to the next stage, as and when we cater to the bigger market segments, and as and when it creates a niche amongst a particular merchant segment, there is always a premium service which gets created. This premium service is another revenue for the organization, where as and when we go further, it will keep on adding to our books. Uh, to give you an idea about the scalability and our long-term vision, how exactly we intend to scale the revenue further, we are taking a small use case of society. Now, when we acquire a society, we try to solve the society problem. We are trying to solve their collection issues. We are trying to link in their bank directly. We are providing them gated security, society management, and when we do so over a period of time with the adoption and with the change in the consumer behavior around the society relation, it gives an opportunity to add vendor relations. It gives an opportunity to add all of those vendors in the society and outside society, bring them on this platform, creating more and more transactions and creating more and more services. And then at the next and at the later stage, in a particular city or a particular geography, when we have about 200, 300 odd societies, this is one platform which provides a hyper local touch. I mean, this is the platform. If in a particular city we have 200 societies, this is where the hyper local market would like to be present. So that's how the future growth is planned around it. And similarly, we see opportunities around the other merchant categories. Just to give you an idea about the application, it will be an open app where payments will be driven by our merchant PSP go ahead from NPCI, and rest of the solution is more like an ERP, which will be driven by the merchant and consumed by their user base. Now, when we are providing solution to our merchants, we also look at the positive impact it has across various domain. I mean, uh, our solution, does it solve the problem faced by the local and the hyperlocal markets? Do we create the business opportunity around their ecosystem? Uh, do we cater to the neglected categories in the digital payment segment? um, in COVID, how useful was this application to provide a safe access to the users of the society? And then at the same time, does it create a business, a beyond business opportunity? Does it create an employment opportunity? And can it solve the overall problem of an MSME segment for them to grow further in their business? So that all that taken together, we see an extremely positive impact across the ecosystem where we are targeting, creating a lot of positive, a lot of employment opportunity and the business opportunity through our system. So let us also understand that society, when we talk about time pay, it's not a single application. It can be customized a million times. I mean, if we have about 10,000 merchants using our application, we will have 10,000 versions of a single application. It is completely customized for every single merchant who uses it. Let that merchant have 100 customers, or that merchant may have about 1 lakh customer, it doesn't matter. But our solution is completely configurable for the merchant requirements. And when that happens, this creates more and more opportunities for the local market, for the MSME segment, and obviously the employments. Um, Here on, I would like to introduce Ashish. Uh, yeah, Ashish, if you would you like to take it further?
Hi, good afternoon, everyone. These are the key ratios and performance metrics. Our EBITDA is increased from last 3 years from 16 to 19%, you can say, and PAT margin is little bit reduced. And our revenue is also constant. This is actually there are three major reasons. That's our revenue little bit decrease or constant in last 3 years. Number one is change of model by our prime customer from transaction model to fixed value model. Number two, there is definitely COVID impact from last 18 months. Entire world is entire economy is shaken, and we are not. You can say we are little bit affected due to technology. We are little bit affected due to Corona. But apart of that, there is one more reason. Last, I think in somewhere about in 19. 18, 19, we have decided whether we have to increase our business at the same pace or we have to do something different. At that time, we have decided that we have to develop our own software, Timepay. This can be the reason. I think some gentleman has asked this question. So I have also answered that question. And part of this RO's return of capital employed and return on net worth, this is reduced due to the issue of bonus share for this particular IPO. Subal, can you, I think this is the last slide or you want, okay, sorry. Part of that, this is our object for this particular issue. Majorly, we need funds for particular three things. One is development. This is development as well as enhancement. We have already developed our software up to some extent, but regular development is required. A part of that. A part of that we require this for acquiring hardware and this infra for this for the infra, particularly in hardware and software and the infra part of the company and marketing and promotion for the Timepay product. And a part of that, some funds we require for our general corporate purpose.
So, yeah, thank you, Ashish. Just to give you an idea about some of our marquee customers, whenever you do a UPI transaction, IMPS, or you do a Canara Bank mobile banking application, and you use a Canara account, you're actually going through our software. So Canara is one of the biggest customer and a platform which is given us so much. IBM is we are OEM partner to IBM for IMPS and UPI product. Cosmos Bank is our UPI I mean customer. At the same time, they are also our sponsor bank for merchant PSP. Karnataka Grameen Bank and Kerala Grameen Bank, they are entirely on our system for mobile banking and IMPS and UPI. And of course, we have Softtech with whom we have been working for last 3 years now. Yeah, so that's from my side. What I would like to do here on is, if at all there are query, further clarity or queries, we can take it through Q&A. Vastupal. Okay, so it's a very calculative decision. You're raising funds for about 13.7 crore. Is that sufficient amount for your growth target and plans to take debt? Well, see, organization as an organization, we have taken this decision 3 years back. It's not just before IPO. 3 years back, we decided that from the operational profit, we will be building our product, we'll be working on the licenses, we will be, creating our team. So all that we have done till date, and it's now time to go to market. On that, when we realize that we have to now further scale and look at the bigger outreach, this is where we are going for an IPO. So this amount is well calculated and it is sufficient for us to achieve a certain target. We have certain projections, and this is more than enough to achieve that projection. RVCF invested in the company. Can you please share the size of investment, locking period, and their role in the company? Would they be part of the board? Uh, yeah, they have invested. Ashokji, if you would like to take this.
Yeah, thank you, Deepak. Yes, Rajasthan Venture Capital Fund have invested 5 crore in the company, or they have committed to invest 5 crore in the company. 2 crore they have offered in a pre-IPO, for which shares have been allotted to them, and the balance 3 crore shall be invested in our IPO to the public IPO mode. Yes, they will be part of our company board, and their nominee director is there on the nominee our board of directors in the name of Mr. Gaurav Chaudhary. And their role in the company will be guiding the company to the next heights and raising and helping to raise further money if required in the future.
After selling app to society, how revenue recognition takes place. So I think it's covered in my presentation. Like I said, there are three models which were clearly defined. There is subscription-based revenue, there is transaction-based revenue, and there is obviously premium services for which we make money. It's not one time, it's indeed a recurring revenue. But beyond that, what's important is the overall ecosystem is changing a behavior pattern. I mean, what the market that we are right now is something which will, further scale, which will further create a bigger entry point for local businesses. It will create an ecosystem for the local markets, and this is where the transaction volume will increase drastically. And at the very same time, we get an opportunity to build further more into this ecosystem. So as and when we get more and more into it, and the solution gets niche, we get further premium revenue. So yeah, the opportunity is much larger than we can project as on today. How are you are fighting against big giants like Amazon Pay, Google Pay, Paytm? All right, I always like taking this question. So one thing I would like to reiterate that we are not into that business model. So let's say Amazon Pay is more of so they are e-commerce giant. They are now getting into groceries and all, and now they are obviously adding payment to it. Google Pay, for Paytm, they have so all of them have a very different business model. Like I said, we are not into B2C segment. We don't acquire customers. We are more into empowering merchants. UPI for us is a mean to complete the entire ecosystem and add an open banking solution to the ERP. And that is where we want our merchants to take the fruits of the entire digital business, digital landscape. And at the very same time, this is a perfect application for tying all your subscribers into a single platform. So you may be a cooperative housing society with 2000 members. We give you a platform where all these 2000 can be brought together. You may be a gym with 5000 members, so all these 5000 members can be brought together. That gym will have a separate application. Society 2000 member society will have a separate application. So we are into B2B category. Ultimately, yes, it is B2B2C, but yes, we are not into a similar domain as of that. Yeah. uh, do you have any solution for microfinance clients? Like I said, the presentation, the slide which I showed you, which has payment solution, business solution, and banking solution, that's common across all. When it comes to solving a certain problem for microfinance, sector which may be related to collections. This is a perfect solution. It solves their problem. But beyond that, anything which may be a customized requirement by the microfinance, that piece is yet not added. When we get into it, we may do it. But right now, we can solve their collection issues. Uh, the trend shows UPI transactions have overtaken credit and debit card payments of late. Good question. Well, the trend shows that UPI is way fast. I mean, the highest uh, growth rate, or I would say adoption, acceptance, changing user behavior, changing the payment landscape, and in fact, the most disruptive. I personally call it one of the most disruptive payment channel that we have seen. So they have obviously overtaken most of the payment channels in the industry. Yeah. How do you visualize the market in next 3 years in terms of incremental growth ahead for the industry in general, and what will NPST's business strategy here? So we are quite happy with our decision and picking up the right merchant category too early. So let us understand that if 3 years down the line, like I keep saying this, I don't know whether I've been repeating this right now in last 41 minutes. I don't know, but every single cooperative housing society or every single merchant category that we are targeting, they will be riding on some software. It may be an online software, it may be an offline software, doesn't matter, but there will be some software requirement. What we are seeing here in next 3 years is a complete change in the user behavior, in the pattern, and the acceptance for the overall digital product in the market. There will be innovations happening. NPST will be part of it. There will be some other players also who will be working around similar ecosystem. So when the overall industry changes and when the overall demand increases in the same manner, it gives a bigger opportunity for a company like us to grow. If we are doing something fresh, if we are doing something which does not exist, then it is extremely difficult for any company to establish that kind of user behavior, that kind of pattern. But what we are seeing is that that is already happening. Another 2 3 years, that will be the trend, and we will be taking an advantage being here too early. So we see that it's going as per our our strategy, going as per our expectations. So what will be NPST's business strategy? Our business strategy is extremely simple. The product that we have built, we will be adding more and more experience to it. We'll be adding more and more opportunity for our merchant, so that they can make money. We will be creating a better platform day in and out. Whatever we have built, we own the IP of all those products. It may be all the switch that we have. We intend to take this switch on cloud and provide an open banking solution. So our strategy is extremely simple. We want to tie up, we want to take an advantage of the relations that we have in our banking segment, continue to scale our TSP business, learn, add, and further scale the merchant PSP business. That's what we want to do. Could you throw some light on the regulatory requirement which may be an obstacle to your journey of growth? So that we have already done. So basically all the requirement which was laid down by NPCI and my sponsor bank, we have ensured that all of that are already taken care, and that is the reason why we have received the approval. All the security guidelines laid down, all the compliances to be followed, all the policies to be laid down, and following up every single circulars which were shared with us. So that we have done. And that's the reason why we have uh, license to go ahead. And uh, when so obstacle in terms of regulatory requirements we don't see right now, but I mean there will be obviously newer opportunities coming in market, and the regulations accordingly, I mean everyone will adopt the regulation accordingly. I'm sorry, I cannot share that. I mean, this
We
is
have
not the
already shared,
forum.
Deepak. That we have already shared.
Okay, I mean, for the future projections, I can't say anything, but yeah, like Ashish has already shared it. Do you have any product license, revenue stream, and AMC? Yes, our TSP business drives on a license model and SaaS model. So the mobile banking, IMPS, UPI, wallet, all of the product that I mentioned earlier in my presentation, it is either available on the license model or SaaS model. So we have customers on both the models. Yes, AMC included. What is smart society market in your studies? Do you think people will accept this new solution quickly? I think you know a lot of thought process has changed in last 1.5 years since the pandemic broke. Uh, as per our study, we believe that there should be nothing less than 6 to 7 lakh communities that we are targeting. It may around cooperative housing society, credit societies, all taken together, the registered ones, and there may be unregistered also. Our product is completely open, and that's one of the biggest advantage that we have right now, wherein it works like any payment application. Even if you're not part of any community or you're not part of any cooperative housing society, you can still download and still use it. It's at a CUG stage right now, closed user group. And like so initially, like I said, the pandemic has really changed our thought process. People really want to know who is entering the society, when they are entering, what is the temperature. They would like to have better control. Why not the same application provide better security? Why not the same application provide the solution to the collection issues in the society? Why not the same application help me with reaching out to the FMS agency and solve my problem? So this kind of requirement was always there. People didn't think about how a software or how a mobile application can solve it. And acceptance is already there. I mean, we are seeing that in being present in 11 cities, and we are getting tremendous response around it. That's the reason why we want to scale now. Ashokji, this is for you.
Question for me: why should people should subscribe to this issue? And pricing of the issue looks high for SME company, which is pretty much new over the SME. This particular question has a multiple answers. As a person to person, as far as my opinion is concerned, in this particular issue, the valuation of a company doesn't depend upon the profit multiples only, but upon the scalability of the company and what it has in its kitty and what the industry is operating and what is the outlook of the industry. So when you combine all together things, there are hell of the opportunities available in this type of digital industry. And when this industry is growing at a growth of multiple of 1 million billion transaction on a year-to-year increase, so that definitely NPST has taken this license in February 2021 only, and it is now slated to start this particular business. So it will definitely will benefit the company both in the terms of the profitability and the future, in my opinion. Secondly, regarding the pricing of the company, what I said to you is not only depend upon the price, but even on the various other factors. And regarding my opinion on to subscribing this issue, so they are very much, I like this company because they are four important points which I like to highlight to you everybody on this particular issue. One is the management of the company. The total has six management persons, directors on this company, and out of three are the chartered accountants, well qualified persons. Two persons are there day in and day out working for this company, Mr. Ashish Agarwal and Mr. Deepak Thakur. Both are experts in their fields. Ashish is chartered accountant by qualification, and Deepak is an MBA by qualification. One of the competent person, Mr. Rajiv Berry, who has 18-year experience in this digital payment industry, is also serving this company from since very long period of time. Two independent directors are there from the industry stalwarts. Mr. Abhishek Mishra is there, Mr. Bharat Chaudhary is there, Mr. All people are there in this particular company. As regard the technology which the company owns, patents, the trademark which they have, like they have a payment technology duly certified by the RBI. It is operating successfully from not only for 1 or 2 years, from last 7 years. They are working with the Canara Bank. They are now working with the Cosmos Bank and everybody, and they are working with IBM. So technology side, their development is completely done. They are working on it, and they are keeping adding banks on a regular basis in their kitty. Secondly, the TPAP license. The TPAP license is nothing. It's one of the finest things in India which have only 16 persons apart from NPST hold this particular license. Then I should name a few of them like Google Pay, Phone Pay, Paytm, Bajaj Finserv, Crack, all of the big companies holding these particular licenses. And when I review this particular list, NPST is the smallest of them, and it is as far as concerned like valuation wise or market cap wise, they are coming in within a pre-money valuation of 36 crores, and they all are peer competitors who appear on this particular list have a market valuation around 40,000 crores, 20,000 crores, 10,000 crores. So there is a huge gap is available for this company to grow in the future. So looking after combining all these particular factors, so I think personally this company is a very good bet to buy for a longer term periods.
Just two technical clarification. One is we own the IP, not the patent. We have our own copyright. Second is RBI does not certify it. We have security certified and NPCI. There's a certification process, so we follow that. So there is no RBI certification here. Yeah. Anyways, that's the clarity. Like I, shared in my presentation, we are stitching four solutions together. So if we compare all the competitors across four segments, they will be completely different. I mean, in payments, if you look at the capabilities of the UPI payments, obviously you can look at Google Pay, Phone Pay, but we are not from that business segment. When it comes to accounting, auto accounting, which is part of our product offering. uh, I mean, you can compare it with Tally, or you can compare it with the accounting which Zoho might be offering. When it comes to taking a certain domain and taking the entire solution to cooperative housing society, you can obviously compare it with Mygate or Adda, or or No Brokerhood. But we are a completely open platform. We are not a very specific society application. So even if you're not part of the society, you can still use our solution. So that's the differentiating factor. So competition as such, it's not that easy to easy to apple comparison obviously is not that easy. The product has multiple interfaces. When it comes to TSP domain, yeah, there's a very clear list of competitor there. You have MindGate, you have Olive Crypto, you have FSS, and then you have Infrasoft, Finecus. So these are some of the companies who provide similar software solutions to banks. Yeah. Uh, Risk assessment, obviously, see, the thing is, if we do not, the biggest risk is if we do not continue to invent our own product, because this is it's a very, very fast paced market. I mean, today what I'm thinking, tomorrow by the time I start working on it, the very next day you will have someone who has launched it. So so you need to be very fast. So if I'm slow, then I've lost the market. I've not just lost the market, I'm way behind than my competitors. So being fast is extremely important. And coming to this IPO is, this is one of the main reasons to come to this IPO. Until we do not plan our strategy well, and we do not take the first mover advantage, we do not get into certain segments and categories immediately wherever there are opportunities. It doesn't take more than 1 or 2 years to to lose that advantage. So yeah, being fast is extremely important. Fintech is that domain, and that is where we are working right now. So that's the risk that we look at. Not being innovative will obviously make us obsolete in this segment. So that's one of the biggest one that we see. Second is obviously how our strategies pan out in terms of acquisition. We have a very strong acquisition plans, and we are seeing the results. In fact, we started somewhere in June, and we started pilot in June 2020 in pandemic, and we we could not scale it due to two lockdowns. And obviously, without having any entry, and struggling to have presence across any cities. Today we have presence across 11 cities, which we started during the lockdown, and we have nothing less than 700 to 800 merchants using our product. We have nothing less than 1 lakh odd customers on our platform. So, so what we see is that how strongly we keep our acquisition policies, and how simplified we keep our user base is the way forward. I mean, these are two major risks that we look at. And in TSP domain, like I said, we are already present. Once you are present in a certain particular business, it's too long term, and all you have to do is bring more innovations around that product, bring more and more solutions. We lost the race when we did not take risk of taking businesses in extremely lower margin, or almost a negative margin when we actually started UPI. So all that learning is obviously going to help us in the TSP domain as well. So yeah. Uh, I think I've already answered this question. Only when it comes to the domain expertise is where we compete with them. Rest, all the products are different. Our payments are different. All of that are stitched together. So that particular piece, there is no difference. They are our competitors in cooperative housing society. But when it comes to our unique value propositions around the auto accounting, the auto recon process, the payment collections with our inbuilt UPI PSP product. So all of that creates a bigger, what do we call it? A competitive advantage for a company like this. COVID lockdown has given big push to digital banking solution. Has NPST benefited from this opportunity? Two ways. I mean, when the lockdown started, obviously, where we lose is where the entire industry is losing is the productivity. That's where the losses, and that's where we were learning. So first year has been extremely difficult, learning the overall new way of managing things. So even though we were in digital banking space, we were just like another software company where we have tried to retain what we can from the last financial year. In fact, we can boost the point that we did not let even a single employee lose their job in our company during the lockdown. That's how strongly we put our policies and employees in place. uh, we obviously benefited due to lockdown, and that advantage we will be seeing in coming few years, where the adoption of such kind of digital application, the adoption of better solutions by banks, and when the scale goes from 2 billion transactions to 30 billion transactions, then all the requirement around intelligence driven monitoring, intelligence driven risk assessment, reconciliation, all of this creates a huge requirement across banking finance segment, and the, in fact, the fintech segment. And we being on both the sides, so we are not just in with the merchants, working with the merchants, we are also working with banks. All of that gives us a huge advantage to to keep on adding certain products and certain solutions, which will further give us a revenue advantage in coming years. So this is how we have benefited due to lockdown, I mean pandemic, if I rightly understand. So that obviously digital banking has got an advantage with this. Ashish, you would like to take this?
Yeah, near about 185 employees we are having. And you're asking how many IT professionals, I think somebody asked. It's near about 80.
Uh, see, yeah.
So I think
So
Ashok will apply this question.
I think this is a irrelevant question in this context.
we don't need we do not have distribution agents right now, but we will be exploring the uh, we'll be obviously be exploring maybe this year or next year, based on the larger adoption, and as and when we grow further. So how the market behaves, and how do we save on our cost. So during that time there will be certain decisions, and then what role distribution agents will play, basis that we will see the fit. So right now we don't have any. You're mute, Ashokji.
Yeah, there is no overpriced offer in this particular IPO, and there is not a single share pledged by any promoter or any other person in the company. Overall holding pattern of the company is such that 91.90% is held by the promoters, and around 5.26% held by the RBCF, and 3% is held by the employees of the company. It is pre-IPO. Once IPO goes on, then it will change. I think Due to the regulatory compliances, I can't see Mr. Deepak or Ashish can answer this question. It is written in the prospectus, and if I think Mr. Ashish can highlight a figure if he remembers.
I think it's near about 5 CR.
Okay, I see. Yeah.
Market opportunity, I think I have already answered this. Uh, I'll take just very quick 15-20 seconds to get onto it again. If you look at the market opportunity, we'll have to look at 6 to 7 lakh merchants in the cooperative housing credit society segment. We'll have to look at all the gyms and hostels, and at the same time, we'll also have to look at all the software solutions, intelligence-driven platform required by banks here on due to the growth of digital payments. So all of that is an opportunity for a company like us. This is where the company has a unique value, wherein we are not just a technology service provider, but we also work as a fintech partner to bank, empowering the merchant. So all of that is an opportunity for us. So our R&D spend has been for nothing less than 4 to 5 years now. From the time Rajiv uh, took the onus of the overall technology building of the company. So he has been at the forefront of driving the overall R&D. When it comes to expenses, Ashish, you would like to take it, please?
So I don't have any specific figure right now. What will be the spend on R&D in this particular financial year? I'll get back to you.
Easy or difficult is very subjective, but yes, the business is extremely scalable. We have already seen that we launched our product during lockdown, and then there were two lockdowns, one followed by the other. We got a very small gap. Still, we have got lots of demand from various markets, and not just our segment. So we started with one single segment, but the demand kept coming from the other merchant categories also, which gave us an idea on creating the product into generic and domain expert model. And this I particularly believe is majorly because of the nature of the solution, where we are trying to solve the collection problem and the business problem. So it's extremely scalable, no doubt about it. How easy is to scale the business? I think it's all the efforts of what kind of sales team we are creating, what kind of technology team we are creating, what more we are spending on our R&D lab. So that's the way. Biggest challenges for the company, I think this I would associate with risk. Basically, the challenge. So risk, I have already covered that, but in general terms, it was not that easy initially. Taking decision from just being a technology service provider to also becoming a merchant PSP. In order to take that decision, we had to actually and at the very same time remain bootstrapped. And when you take that decision, you have to build the product for your customers, at the same time remain profitable, and then reinvest, redo things develop the product, and when you really are not in a position to take it further, we still have to pick up other projects into IT services, build their model, get the margin, again invest in the product. Doing this for 3 years is what we have seen day in and out, and that is where Rajiv, Ashish, me, we, with our entire 185 people, I mean, I really thank all my employees for being there, and that's the biggest challenge to to ensure that we remain where we are, and we also continue to invest the margin, and when we have the time to go to market, we have right product, whatever we have invested, it's just one shot. I mean, whatever we could do just one, and that is what we did, and that is paying us. That has been a challenge. Remain bootstrap and do what others are doing by raising funds.
Well answer. So Deepak, people know I don't think so. This is the right way. There are few things. Precisely our expense, recurring expense is 6.06 CR. And this is for the particularly you can say a part of the employees who are involved in developing the software. Secondly, we have increased our strength somewhere about in the month of October and November. So you can't divide the entire salary with the number of employees. I think this is little bit unrational. So if you want to understand our average salary, I think this should be near about 6 lakhs.
Any other questions? First of all, okay, friends. So now we come to the close of this particular broker invest meet for the NPST Limited proposed SME IPO. If any further questions are there, you can anytime connect with me or the management of the company. So I would like to thank you everybody for making this a great success. Thank you Deepak ji, Agarwal ji, Rajiv Bedi ji, Sanjay ji for joining us. And friends, thank you for joining in such a large number. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you everyone.
Thank you.
Thanks everyone. Thank you so much.